Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight I'm going to give you a brief overview of the Police Department's statistical analysis of crime and responses for calendar year 2020. In 2020, the most frequent Group A crimes were larceny and retail fraud, assault offenses, and damage to property. Group A crimes are generally considered the most serious crimes and are generally considered felony in nature, where the punishment can range from 1 year in jail to life in prison. This is a state of Michigan designation and not necessarily accurate, considering many of these offenses actually fall into the misdemeanor offense category. The most frequent Group B crimes were operating under the influence of alcohol or drugs, obstructing police, and disorderly conduct. The next slide gives us a comparison of some of the types of crimes and their frequency in 2020 compared with 2019. As illustrated, criminal sexual conduct cases had a slight increase from 15 reported incidents in 2019 to 19 reported incidents in 2020. This can also be partially attributed to having an active special investigations unit investigating sex trafficking cases and rescuing victims that may not have otherwise reported these crimes. The two homicides that are listed were, the one was that the son got into an argument with his dad and stabbed him to death, and the other was a shooting that was ruled as self-defense by the prosecutor's office. That incident occurred on 11 Mile Road near Hales. Burglary decreased from 70 reports in 2019 to 54 reports in 2020. Larceny and retail fraud is clearly the offense that Madison Heights residents experience the most, but even those crimes decreased from 480 reports in 2019 to 360 in 2020. Larceny and retail fraud are higher in Madison Heights due to the concentration of our big box stores such as Best Buy, Micro Center, Home Depot, Meijer, and several others. Larcenies include packages stolen from porches, items stolen from in or on motor vehicles, or other forms of theft from private property, or from areas and businesses that are not open to the general public. This decrease can also be partially explained due to the lockdowns during the COVID-19 pandemic and more people being at home. Motor vehicle theft increased from 46 reported incidents in 2019 to 68 reported incidents in 2020. Overall, in 2019, there were 1,833 reported crimes, and in 2020, the number of reported crimes was 1,582, representing a reduction of reported crimes by 251 crimes, or a total reduction of approximately 13.7%. In 2020, in spite of the COVID-19 pandemic, 945 hours were dedicated to providing in-service training to our police officers on the topics of implicit bias, cultural diversity, responding to calls involving mental health, use of less lethal weapons, Narcan training, and many other training topics. Officers also attended a combined total of 1,345 hours of training at outside locations. This amount of training was reduced this year due to the pandemic. The FBI Violent Crimes Task Force was instrumental in 2020 by assisting our Detective Bureau and our Special Investigations Unit with the investigation of violent crime incidents. During 2020, the FBI Task Force made 14 federal felony arrests, located one missing child, executed 103 search warrants, and seized 16 weapons that were being used in the commission of serious crimes. Our Special Investigations Unit was focused on crimes occurring at our hotels, but also made many arrests for other crimes such as manufacturing methamphetamine, delivery of heroin and methamphetamines, larceny of packages, carrying concealed weapons, and numerous other crimes. For 2020, the Special Investigations Unit made 208 arrests. 90 subjects were charged with felony offenses, and 58 were charged with misdemeanor offenses. The Special Investigation Unit initiated 210 investigations during 2020, which led to 2 arrests for human trafficking, 3 arrests for human trafficking of a minor, 3 arrests for possession of child pornography, 7 arrests for weapons offenses, and 193 arrests for other offenses, which were both felony and misdemeanors. The Special Investigations Unit also seized 5 handguns used during the commission of a felony and 1 short-barreled shotgun. They were also successful in confiscating powder cocaine, crack cocaine, heroin, methamphetamines, fentanyl, and controlled pill narcotics with an estimated street value of over $25,000. They also conducted 11 Michigan Liquor Control Commission investigations for new licenses being issued and performed 22 on-site liquor inspections that resulted in 4 misdemeanor violations being issued. The Oakland County Narcotics Enforcement Team was also active during 2020. The team initiated 404 investigations, executed 226 search warrants for illegal narcotics, and seized 95 firearms used during the commission of a felony. Please note that on that statistic, those drugs and those guns that were seized were not all in Madison Heights. It was a combination all across Oakland County for the year. NET was also responsible for removing a total of 32 pounds, 3 ounces of the following narcotics from the street: cocaine, crack cocaine, fentanyl, heroin, and methamphetamine. They were also responsible for removing 4,387 prescription and other dangerous drug pills from the street. Our Detective Bureau was assigned a total of 2,476 cases in 2020. The DB is comprised of 1 lieutenant, 1 sergeant, and 3 patrol detectives. All of these members investigate crimes that are reported. The Detective Bureau obtained 145 felony charges against suspects and 346 misdemeanor charges. The Detective Bureau also assisted with reported juvenile offenses, and 7 cases involving juveniles were referred to Oakland County Youth Assistance. Our Road Patrol, the backbone of the police department, responded to 26,732 calls for service during 2020, a decrease of 1,101 calls from 2019. The Road Patrol made 1,251 arrests in 2020, an increase of 145 arrests over 2019. Officers responded to 787 building alarm responses in 2020, a decrease of 189 alarm calls over 2019. The Road Patrol investigated 1,173 accidents in 2020, which was a decrease of 545 accidents. They made 99 arrests for operating while impaired by drugs or alcohol, which was a decrease of 46 arrests from 2019, and they issued 7,566 traffic violations in 2020. The Animal Control Officer, Justin Holland, investigated 1,642 animal complaints in 2020, an increase in complaints of 331 from 2019. The Animal Control Officer was able to adopt out 109 pets and was able to pay for $20,760 in veterinary services for all the pets that went through the shelter in 2020. This was an increase in spending of $3,887 over that which was spent in 2019. Animal Control Officer Holland was able to cover all of these medical costs through donations received, fundraising efforts, and a grant from the state of Michigan. The Police Reserve Unit, led by Sergeant Kohler, donated over 1,837 hours of volunteer time in 2020. The reserves work at all city events, conduct vacation home checks, patrol our schools and parks, assist with traffic control and school events, and also assist our Detective Bureau by delivering court subpoenas. In summary, I know that I've just thrown a ton of statistics at you in this presentation, but the key is that crime is down overall by 13.7%. Although some of that decrease can be attributed to the pandemic, it also needs to be contributed to all the hard work the officers and detectives had put into patrolling the city, investigating and solving crime, and as well as our dispatchers taking the calls for service and dispatch. The Special Investigation Unit continues to be a strong asset to the police department and does account for a large amount of the increase in arrests. SIU investigations also contributed to the amount of rape cases being reported because, as I mentioned before, they identified victims that otherwise probably would not have reported the crimes. The police department continues to make community policing and the safety of our community our top priorities. The hard work and dedication of our employees makes this possible. Thank you, Council and Mayor, for allowing me the time to present this information to you this evening.